Hi everyone, this is Ida with Created to Create. I have a project share that I wanted to share with you before I give my project away. I wanted to share it with you. I'm going to share with you some of the items that I used to create my project. One of the things that I used was the We Are Memory Keepers word punch board. And I actually have two because my friend Jackie, who is Metalark001 here on YouTube, she gifted me one of these and I had bought one because I wanted to have the double alphabets. And it worked out great because I was able to do the two different words and use it, and I can use two punch boards. So I don't have to what I was doing, I could do it on one, but I would have to bend the paper over so it wouldn't get wrinkled over here. So by having the two, I'm able to use the two different punch boards. So that was great for that. But here's the word you in here. And this is one of the things that I used. And this is a combination of two blessings actually from or from a couple lovely ladies that have bless me with different things. Here's the punch board right here. This is what it looks like. Anything that I find, I will list in the description box. And I'll tell you what I was creating. Some of you know that my brother passed away, and I overheard his son saying that they needed to buy some thank you cards. And I thought, well, I'm gonna make some, make a couple. I'm not sure how many they need, but I thought I would just mess around and occupy my mind. So that's one of the things that I used. And then I used the Black Suet Distress Ink by Tim Holtz. So I used that. And again, I will list whatever I can find in the description box. The other thing that I use is this embossing folder. You all know that I love embossing folders. And this one is the one that tells you what love is. So I use this one. I'm not even sure if it's available anymore, but I did use it. I used this die that I bought a while back, and I didn't play with it. And it is calla lilies. So here are the flowers, and this is like the actual leaf of the flower, or the flower part, the top, and then this is like the bottom of the flower. And this little piece, it cuts this little piece out, and what you do is you kind of curl it into a tube, and you insert it through a hole that the top of the flower cuts out. That's how you use these. I had to go back and look at the picture to kind of just look at it and see how they had put that together, and I was able to figure it out like that. And then it does come with the 4 leaves. So I use this one I purchased myself a while back. And then the other die that I used are these crosses. These were gifted to me by my friend Carolyn, who is Tea Time and Dolls here on YouTube. And it's actually a set of about 5 crosses, I think. And this is one of the cross that I used. It's not the smallest one, but the next size up. And I thought this was a perfect size. As you all know, or those of you who have watched the video, when I talk about my brother, he was a Christian and had been for many years, and so is his wife, and so is his whole family. So I wanted to make something that represented who they are. So what I created is kind of like a faith-inspired thank you card. And this is the first one that I created. I did use 110-pound cardstock. Now you can buy pre-made cards and just use those as your base, but I had plenty of cardstock. And then I wanted to pull out the color that was on my designer paper, and I used the dark brown. And then around the edges right here, as you can see, I tore it, and then I added the distressed Black Suet ink all the way around it so the edges wouldn't be white. And then right here is where I used that punch the memory where memory keepers punch that says thanks. And here is that calla lily flower that I was telling you about. And see how the center is curved up like a tube? That's how calla lilies are. And they're yellow in the center. So I went ahead and colored them yellow, and then I added the diamond dust to the centers. And I did add a little bit of green here and around the edges. And then here are the leaves. Here, these are all 4 of the leaves. And I added some glossy accents just to kind of make it look like it was early in the morning and they still had dew on them. So I added the dots there, and then I went heavier closer to the bottom of the leaves. And this piece right here, the designer paper is on a piece of chipboard, so it wouldn't be it's still pretty much a flat card, but it's not that flat. It's got a little bit of dimension. And this paper right here, this is a faith inspired paper as well. I will share that with you. And I picked that one up at Hobby Lobby, and I do every time I go in. I'll pick up a couple sheets, and they are 12 by 12 sheets. And these are kind of saying everything or every name that applies to the Lord. So that's what this paper is. And because it had the darker brown in the words, I felt that dark brown was a good contrasting color. And then, of course, the little banner right here, that is with the pearlized paper that we pick up at Michael's. And it's like a cream colored, or yeah, cream colored. And that's what I use for the little banner there. But I think it ended up really pretty, and it's simple, and it is faith inspired, because anybody that knew my brother and his wife and their kids, or know my brother's wife and his children, like I said, they are Christians. So I felt like this really represented my brother and his wife and who they are. So that was the first one that I created. The second one that I created is this one. Pretty similar. The same flowers. I only used 3 leaves. The same technique on the flowers. Again, I matted it with the dark brown. I added the printer paper, and I ripped it just with my hands all the way around to make it look jagged. And then I distressed it with the Black Soot by Tim Holtz. To make this banner, I did use a longer strip, and I punched thank on one end of the strip and you on the other end, and in a way that I could read them. You don't have to mirror it or anything like that, because I knew by the time I ended up folding it, you was going to be in the correct order. So what I did was I punched thank, and then I left a piece, and then at the other end I punched you. And I really like the way this looks, this little banner, again in the pearlized paper. I think it ended up really nice. So that is card number 2. And I like the fact that I had the 2 machines, like I said, because one of them had thank and the other one you. And then you don't have to worry about having to bend your paper or anything like that. So it really works well when you have the 2, plus you have the 2 alphabets. If you're you writing a word or punching a word that has more than one of the same letter. The third one that I created is this one. If I had to mass produce cards, this would be the one I would mass produce. I changed it up a little bit. I did use cream colored cardstock to match the pearlized paper that I was using. I didn't put anything on the inside because she'll probably write a handwritten note on the inside. And I backed it up. I matted it with a dark brown, and then I did the pearlized again. And this is where I embossed it with the love embossing folder, the faith inspired love embossing folder. And then I added, of course, the designer paper that I distressed all the way around the edges. And I did add a piece of chipboard, so you can see that it's not flat, but it's not very dimensional. And then the banner, I felt like I wanted a bigger space in between, so I cut the strip a little bit bigger, and I did thank on one side and you at the other end, but I left a bigger space in between and in the pearlized paper. And after I had done that, I felt like it needed something in the middle still. So this is where that cross came in. I had a little piece of copper I save all my scraps, guys, especially the metallic foil paper. So I added the little copper one right here. Had I had gold, I would have used gold. I would have used probably any color but silver. Would have looked good with this, and maybe even a silver would. But I felt like when something that's in the warm tones, and you need like warm colors. And I did cut it out of foam, the foam sheets, the thinner ones, and then I cut it out of the copper foil paper. And I think it ended up really pretty. Like I said, this would be one that you would mass produce because the only die cut that I used here is the cross. Everything else, this was just a strip that I punched. The base and everything, we just use a trimmer to cut all the different layers. So this would definitely be one that is very pretty and that you can mass produce. And to be quite honest, for me, my personal opinion, I like this one the best, the one with the cross, than the this one that was more work. Anyway, that's what I created. I hope that this inspires you. And sometimes, we need to occupy our minds and just get back to, to our routine. Not that I don't miss my brother or anything like that, but like I said, he was a Christian. I know that my brother is in a better place, and I know that one day I will see him again. But sometimes we need to occupy our minds with something. This would definitely be a great way to occupy your mind. Doing your own thank you notes. Or, for example, my sister-in-law doesn't craft, but I do. And this kind of, occupies my mind a little bit. That way I'm not too much in my head. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope everyone is having a great day. And God bless. Bye.